How's it going, everybody? Mike here, and I got some more huge info on Black Myth Wukong today to share with you guys, shed some more light on some stuff here. Before I get into that, though, I want to give you guys a huge thanks for supporting the last Black Myth Wukong video I did, which I believe is currently sitting at about like 5K or so views right now. And you guys let yourselves be heard in the comments. I very much appreciate it. I pretty much read, I think, every, if not almost every single comment. People just giving their different inputs, things like that. And that's what I was trying to do, and that was the point of it too, is like, I wanted to get your guys' feedback, input, what's your thoughts on the game, whether you agree with me or disagree with me on certain things. And because that's fine. It's always, good to have a good discussion on video games in general and have a healthy discussion without letting it turn toxic. There was still some confusion, though, I noticed in some of the comments, whatnot, in regards, like, I thought this was supposed to be more of an action RPG, not necessarily Souls-like, or doesn't have Souls-like elements, things like that. So I'm gonna clarify some of that too as well in this video, and why, in my opinion, it's still technically considered to be a Souls-like in some ways, or at least has Souls-like elements. Once again, thanks to German Strands for tweeting out some more key details regarding Black Myth Wukong, based on an article from VG247.com, where, as you see here, it's talked about that apparently there's poison swamps in there, and I mean, even German Strands is basically talking about how Black Myth Wukong will have plenty of Miyazaki moments, so that's interesting to note there, or at least, incorporate in some way. But yeah, poison swamps, oh boy. Well, if you were, hated poison swamps in Souls games from Miyazaki, you're not going to probably like them much better here. Bosses with multiple health bars. I'll get into more details about that too in this video, because I got another article information to go off about that. Apparently there are mimics as well. Another Souls game type of trope in a sense, but technically that mimics originated from Dungeons and Dragons. Then you got false sense of security, jump scare enemies, hidden bosses, areas, grotesque enemy design, which we've already kind of seen plenty of that in a sense already leading up to this game. So when it comes to the bosses having multiple health bars, or at least like multiple phases, basically, is what that really means, multiple health bars. There is going to be a feature in the game that essentially makes the bosses harder. Now, this game, as I mentioned before, doesn't have a difficulty option whatsoever. It's definitely more of like a linear experience, kind of similar to what Neo 1 and 2 are in terms of being very mission-based focused, not open world, so... And the difficulty has been already sort of kind of outlined or described as being similar to what Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor is, at least I think on normal difficulty, but I'm not too clear on how it's going to be, if like, because I know Star Wars Jedi has difficulty options, normal, Master, Jedi Master, or Grandmaster, things like that. This does not, so it's still unclear on how similar, the actual difficulty will be to those games until we actually play it when it launches. The reality is, game science aims very high. The devs do not want to define it as a Souls-like, although the game contains elements of Souls genre in its combat system. And this is kind of where some of the confusion, happened in my last video, where a couple people were commenting about this. And I even pointed this out in a comment to someone, explaining that, based on a lot of hands-on impressions, previews that have happened over the past month or so from different outlets, sources, the examples of Souls-like elements in the game is being that combat is all strikes and dodges managed with a stamina bar, shrines, or checkpoints to restore your health, similar to what bonfires are. And if you die, you lose some experience with enemies magically responding too. So yes, this is mostly an action RPG, still describes that, but like I said, there is still some Souls-like elements in it. So in my opinion, that's why I still kind of look at it as Souls-like. And technically on Steam, if you check the Steam page, there's the tag Souls-like. If you go to Star Wars, Jedi, Fallen Order, Survivor, you have the Souls-like tagline there. And this is also being compared to being something like Sekiro. Sekiro is another Souls-like. So as much as the devs don't want this to be outright a Souls-like, that still has elements in it, and it's still going to be attached to it in some way. That's just the reality. But think of Black Myth Wukong as being more of like Devil May Cry action in terms of its combat, or Ninja Gaiden in a sense, with some Souls elements to it. And with the bosses, some will have multiple phases, but not all of them will be shown as part of normal gameplay, unlike what happens with Elden Ring, as those phases may have special trigger conditions. This was also confirmed by German Strands, that you should not expect to see multiple phases in all fights by default. Basically, only players who finish a fight within a certain time, as quickly as possible within a range, will see the next phase of the boss in question. So you got to be on it to essentially defeat them very fast to see a second phase. And this is not for every single boss in the game. And if you take too long to defeat the first form, then you just miss out on seeing that second phase. Unless there's maybe New Game Plus added in, you can do a New Game Plus or just do a new playthrough. So this could easily be seen as, you know, a mixed kind of idea here. I can see the community being mixed on this, like, hey, this is cool. And then other people being like against this. I think this is an alright mechanic to have in this game because it does encourage another playthrough, whether it's New Game Plus or just a new game altogether, to try and see if you can unlock and see all the second phases for the bosses in this game that allow it. But what are your thoughts on this? Let me know. Did you think it should be by default that all the bosses, if not most bosses, should have a second phase? Or do you like that you have to work essentially to beat the boss fast to see that second phase? Either way, I honestly think this is going to do very well. I'm still excited for this game, for what it is and how it's going to be in terms of like the main like theme of it, tomes, the gameplay so far talked about. We've had other games that do like Wukong or some Wukong over the years, but this has a chance to possibly be the best one of them all. And that's all I got for you today when it comes to some Black Myth Wukong details. Nothing on a demo yet. I know there was a rumor, speculation about a possible demo happening soon, either this month or next before the game comes out. I don't know if that's still going to happen, but I'll keep you guys posted as usual on this type of stuff. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, would appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And like I said before, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Sound off. Would love to hear from you like I did last time. Let's have a discussion about this. My name's Mike. Thanks for watching.